All right, this is the light body reading for the week ahead. A little behind this week, so I'll have both these out by Tuesday, Wednesday, and just, as you watch them to see if they resonate. This is a really interesting reading. Today they had me read both the 3D and 5D energy systems. And what it feels like to me, and this is a theme that I'm seeing in all densities, is the lower three chakras are actually shutting down. So we're seeing this in the 5D and the 3D. I've seen it with people that are resonating at the 7D as well. So when you're resonating at the 7D light body and those frequencies, you're actually still running the 3D and 5D system, but we only check the 5D. So the 5D would be the lowest frequency we go into, but they have me do both the 3D and the 5D. And so obviously the 3D, 4D system is a lot more congested. There's a lot more going on, a lot of issues. And the 5D system looks pretty good, even though they're having the same problems, the fundamental problems with the lower three chakras. So what we're seeing is people that are in the 3D, 4D have a lot of work to do to get harmonized with the energies that are coming in. Okay, so if you're resonating at the 3D, 4D, you may be having a lot more complications as far as just energy bombardment is the wording I just heard. So a lot of energies coming in, a lot of information coming in, feeling overwhelmed, stressed, chaotic. Everything's pretty shut down. The only thing that was really open in the system was the Earth Gateway. And I actually am not exactly sure why that is. We're seeing that with the 5D system as well, except for these people here and their frequencies at 600 kilohertz here, which is right when you shift into 5D. So people that have really open, expanded, cleared, done the work, they may just be clearing these lower three chakras. And once that's done, they can actually anchor into the 5D grid and core. But these people are shifting in between, and they may be moving back and forth, or they may just be floating above in an unknown dimension or density. Okay, just trying to figure out where they are and what's going on. They are anchored into the earth core, but it's not a specific one. So I feel like there's a fluctuation between the 3D and the 5D core. Okay, these people, and so this is what I'm getting as I'm channeling this information, is that they're strongly rooted here because, and that's why they're having so many problems here, is they're not doing the healing work they need to move into the unknown areas, to expand, to begin working with this new information, the new light, and the new energy. Okay, so there is resistance there for sure. A lot of this could have to do with relationships, a fear of loss, of shifting densities or changing reality structures, relationships, fear of that falling away, feeling like that's a huge risk, feeling vulnerable in this shift. So that could be, it could have to do with losing relationships or a vulnerability there as well. And they are asking you to see this shift as an adventure. So when we're healing and clearing, it's not necessarily fun work, but it can be. It can be very fascinating and very eye-opening and definitely expansive. So instead of being scared of the shifts, like we have this volcano here, and we could see this as a really beautiful experience if we step away from it. Obviously, if we're right at the base of the volcano or at the top of the mountain when it erupts, that's going to be scary, dangerous. But if we step away from it, so the volcano could be our inner world or inner conflict, we step away from it, it can be a really beautiful thing to experience, even though it's risky being near it, or could cause some feelings of fear or anxiety. If you know you're away from it, you can watch it without those fears. Okay, so if you step out of your emotional drama and judgment and chaos and step back from everything, then you're able to perceive things as the witness instead of the person experiencing it, it's a lot easier to move through these things. So I'm just feeling a lot of resistance with people in the 3D, 4D, and that is actually blocking your progress and your growth. And the people here, and obviously everyone's going to be different, but this is just a general idea, are at 50,000 kilohertz. So to move into 5D, you have to be at 600,000 kilohertz. Sorry, it's 600 kilohertz, 600,000 hertz. That's where you need to be to shift into 5D successfully. And this could happen really quickly. I mean, 1 or 2 sessions with my work, you'd make it, okay? So that'd be pretty easy. And we have a block in the this is the etheric blueprint. And so this could be from collective distortions. There's the false AI signal that you could be running, or it could be that your soul spirit is calling you to a higher timeline. And because you're not listening to the call, you're actually creating density in the field that is condensing and making this harder. All of the energy centers are shutting down, okay? We have the soul stars completely shut down here, which this is the soul self. And when you move into 5D, the soul star actually anchors into the heart. So this is shut down. So the soul is not being heard right now, and the root's shut down. So we have these 3 densities. Here we have basically the 3rd density is pretty blocked and shut down. You can't even anchor into the earth. Early 4th density is blocked off from the higher densities. Okay, so the first thing that needs to happen here is the soul star needs to open, and the root needs to open, and the earth gateway needs to open, so we at least have some flow of energy. Okay, and then the block in the 6th level of the field is the one I was just speaking about, that you need to become the witness of your emotions instead of allowing yourself to be consumed by them. Just take a step back and look at them. It's a lot easier to process things from a place of curiosity. And when you go into that and you perceive it in that way, it's actually really easy to clear the blocks and distortions, collapse the false architecture in your field, because you're basically building a reality structure in your field with your beliefs, your emotions, your thoughts, your divine self, your masculine, feminine self, conscious, subconscious mind. They're all building this architecture in your field for your reality structure. And when you have distortions or conflicting belief systems or blocks, it corrupts the architecture and it makes the foundation unstable. And so as you move and shift, it makes your transitions a lot more chaotic. So the stronger the architecture, the stronger your transitions are, okay? You're also able to manifest a lot more quickly in any of the densities. So I speak a lot about the golden heart field and that being a really, really powerful structure to create and manifest. But within that, you still have the primal. It's primal sound, and primal sound is the 3 primal sound fields. It's the first emanations of source. It is the divine mother, the divine father, and the divine child, okay? Which could also be seen as the conscious mind being the divine father, the subconscious, the divine mother, and the divine mind would be the divine child. So that's the universal mind, okay? The universal field. When those 3 are harmonized, then you can create anything you want. So if you have the same belief system within the divine mother archetype of your being, the divine father, and the divine child, then that will be created and instantaneously, especially if you're harmonized throughout the bodies. Now, if you have blocks and distortions in the field in any density, then those will block those from being channeled through your body, okay, into reality. Okay, so the healing process is key, harmonizing with primal sound in the primal sound fields and all of the minds. Okay, so those have to be clear. That is actually a process we go through, and I teach you how to harmonize those in the Djedi school. That's another initiation we have there. And then with the 5D system, all we're looking at here, this is a lot more simple. This is a lot simpler to clear. So those of you that have made it to these higher frequencies, have done the healing work, what you really need to do here is clear out the lower 3 chakras. There's a meditation on my YouTube that's free, and there's one in the Enzo Academy as well. that goes in and clears out and harmonizes the lower 3 chakras. So even after you move into the 5D system, 5D embodiment, there still can be what I call dead energy in these lower 3 chakras, and it's just residual stuff from the old system, okay, that needs to be cleared. And with the 5D system, let's see here, we went into this. So the issue with the 3D is I feel like you're getting stuck in trying to get stuff done. And so there's this over focus on doing. And the mind is not going into creation mode, which is where you need to be to shift into 5D. You need to see things from a different perspective. We're not working from the linear 3D mind anymore. You have to be working from the creative, expansive, spiritual mind, the divine mind. And this isn't helping you. It's actually creating, what is the word I'm looking for? It's avoiding your problems, running away from your problems. So it's an avoidance technique. So I have to get this, and this done, and not doing the deep dives that you need to go into the shadows, to clear, to heal, to evolve. So that's what's recommended. So, and it doesn't have to be hard. It can be actually a huge relief to go, gosh, I don't have to do everything myself. The divine can come in and help me. I'm going to surrender. I'm going to work more with the creative energies, with flow, step back from my problems for a while, not worry about them, see them from an abstract or objective perspective. And that way you can get a different idea of what's going on. You can look at them, understand them logically, and then go back in, process emotions if you need to, collapse that corrupted architecture, and rebuild from there. And then at the 5D, we're looking at possibly needing to work with someone else as a mentor, getting some guidance. We're seeing this mentorship and collaboration. So either you're a mentor teacher, or you should be getting mentorship, working with a teacher, one or the other. But just getting some divine guidance to help you for this new phase. So the shift from the 3D to the 5D, it can be pretty simple, but it also can be complicated because there can be some shifting back and forth. There's a new harmonic that has to be met. You're aligning with the stargates, so there can be kind of this dizzy, drunk feeling as you're harmonizing. So just getting a little support and help there might be helpful for you. Some of you may feel either a lack of clarity or a lot of clarity shifting here, like you know exactly what's going on. There was some sort of awakening that happened, and you were able to see the shift, or you're able to foresee the shift, where you're going and what's going on. Some of you may see it as, or maybe experiencing some setbacks because of possibly being somewhere, expecting to be somewhere that you're not right now. I can get some more clarity on these. Hold on. It just has to do with your perspective. So some of you may feel stuck, as though you're trying to make progress and it's not happening, and they're saying just change your perspective, because you're at this point of evolution, of shift, of change, and you just have to reground. So there's some stagnant energy in the lower 3 chakras. Once that is opened and cleared, you rebuild or restabilize the architecture of the new reality structure, you'll be fine. Okay, so there's maybe a little bit of control there that needs to be released, as well as confidence in your path and the way and where you're going. Okay, and overall we see this energy with both systems, because there's resistance here to the higher spiritual energies that are coming in, and there is a need to go within to establish your divine connection, become a direct conduit for spirit, trust in your mystical intelligence, and attune yourself to the clear signals from your inner guidance. Okay. So everyone here has access to divine energy. Okay. You have the cosmic gateways open, both fields. You have access to that energy. And the reason why we're seeing these distortions primarily is resistance. That's all distortions are, a resistance to divine, to source energy, to your true nature, because everyone at the center is divine, and there's distortions that expand out from that. I actually did a video on this. Maybe I'll post it. And so the goal is to dissolve all of these outer layers of distortions to come into that pure divine harmonic, and then to expand that pure divine harmonic and then connect to the divine all around us. And that is part of the guidance here as well, is to connect to the divine within and around you. Okay. So recommendations this week are Metatron's cube activation, celestial purification to clear the blocks, flower of life to open the cosmic heart. For the 5D system, it would be Metatron's cube activation, and then beginning to work with the crystal core meditation. And I would recommend doing the Ascension Stargate activation again, as well as the Ascension Stargate transmission, because this will help attune your energy to the Stargates. Okay. The Ascension Stargate activation was shown to me as a fail-safe. Okay, it's a fail-safe mechanism to get people onto the diamond timeline, just in case for some reason the grid systems became corrupted or distorted and people couldn't anchor into the organic earth template. I am not sure where we're at with this, so this is just my process. It works. You can use it. If for some reason the grid system is corrupted or hasn't fully activated yet, some of you guys might know, you can let me know actually. If it is, and you can ground in the 5D grid and core, the higher frequency cores, without doing the Stargate activation, then go ahead and do that. But you're going to need to ground into a higher frequency core if you know how to do that. Otherwise, do the Ascension Stargate activation, Ascension Stargate transmission, and you can do that. And we know that works. Okay. So I was shown that as a fail-safe to help people to shift, and for those that were pioneering that path, the people that have done the academy and working with me, as well as there's a lot of people all over the world that have done that and haven't worked with me, but have held the diamond timeline in place so more and more people can move through into the 5D and expand and actually ascend during this cycle. Okay, so that is open, and that's what's being recommended here. This is the resistance. So if you're 3D, 4D, you have quite a bit of work to do to open, to allow this to flow in. But if you surrender to that, know who you are at a divine level, your divine essence, start trusting that, start trusting your divine guidance, you will see these things begin to dissolve. Okay, so there was a lot going on this week, but I'm seeing this at a collective level in every density. Okay, so the lower 3 chakras with everyone needs to be cleared, opened, and regrounded this week. Okay, there's a lot of activations, a lot of awakenings, a lot of remembrance and rememberings. The Lemurian seed code, Lemurian seed packets I saw, which was a divine light packet in a collective that was being expanded out, and a lot of people were being activated by this seed packet. So stay open to that. Make sure you're getting a lot of rest and sleep, because this is actually rewriting the meridians, the nervous system, the physical systems, the cells, etc. And that's why these lower 3 chakras need to be cleared out, so that you don't have any junk in there to distort these codes. Okay, so hope that was helpful. It was really long, but if you have any questions, if you need an analysis, please just go to my website. You can book one there. All right, sending lots of love.